So, this finally arrived in the mail, and as you can see, I have already been into it. I've tried making this video a couple of times, so let's dive in. To start off, I'm not going to tell you how awesome the box cover is. If you have seen any of these unboxing videos before, then you know the color of the box and you know about the quote. And while I'm very excited that it's so bright because it's just exciting to like take it out and like see the bright color, because you know you're already excited because it's finally arrived and you've been waiting for it for like a stupid long time. But yeah. Anyway, so the first thing I got is this cover on cover, and it is the A6 size, and I got it for my old A6 that I this past year had been planning to use as kind of a journal. And I say kind of because I kind of failed miserably at using this as a journal. I started off strong, and then when I skipped a few days, I had trouble like getting back into it. It was kind of I felt like I had to go back and fill in all the days in between, and then it got to be too many days and I couldn't remember, like, I mean, I know my schedule for those days, but like, you know, you don't journal like, I went to the grocery store. It had kind of lost the feel of like the emotional content, I guess, of those days. And so then I tried later on to like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to ignore all the blank pages, dive by again. And I did that for a while, and then I started having blank pages again, and then it just got to a point where it was like, looking at it, like, angered me that I spent money on it, and I didn't use it as intended, and like, I didn't like create all of those impressions of days that I had intended to do. I didn't capture things, but this year has been kind of a shit show. So maybe it's for the best that I can't go back and be like, oh, on this day, everything went wrong. And on this day, more things went wrong. Yay! Maybe that's what kept me from really journaling in this year, was that there's only so many days that you can go, before you're like, okay, I'm just gonna skip this week. But yeah. So I'm gonna hang on to it, like I do all of my other planners and journals and stuff. And I may come back later and use the paper for like some watercolors and stuff that aren't like necessarily day specific, so I feel less guilty about not using it. But this I'm going to use as a notebook next year. So I did not buy an A6 planner this time. That will not be in the box because I didn't buy one. And that's how that works. But this one's kind of old and dirty, and even though I had a cover on it last year, I did not have one the year before. I did not realize I needed one because when I originally ordered it, I was looking at the material, and it kind of looked like a microfiber kind of thing. Like, it looked like it might be easy to clean. So I would say that if you're getting one of these pretty covers for the first time, and you're reluctant to get the cover on cover because you don't want it to interfere with the texture, or you don't want the plastic, or you don't want it to feel like a 60s couch or something at grandma's house, I would say go ahead, especially if you have like a light colored cover, get the cover on cover, because I don't know if you can see how dirty this is, but it's pretty dirty in there. And I've heard some rumors that you can clean it with a magic eraser. I have not necessarily tried the magic eraser. I'm a little worried about the magic eraser because it's not really an eraser. It's kind of, but it's a really fine sandpaper is what a magic eraser is. And so like, it's taking off the top layer of stuff, which is fine if you're like using it on, you know, like a tile or ceramic or something where what it's taking off is so fine it won't be noticeable. But this has like a fabricy texture, and so I'm a little worried that it's gonna leave kind of like a pilled look to it, or like a scuffed look. But I mean, right now it's got a filthy look, so who knows? Maybe scuffed texture is better than I've been living in the woods for a while texture. So who knows? Anyway, I bought this pretty cover on cover for it, so that I can reuse it as a notebook. And the notebook, my intention is that since it's undated, then I can use it more like the brain dump journal that I've had for a while now, where I do sketches and I scribble notes and ideas and thoughts and bad poetry and whatever. And there's like grocery lists and books I mean to buy, all kinds of crazy stuff in here. And so I can use it more like that and be less bound to, I didn't write anything for June 30th and it's never coming back. So yeah, cover on cover. To go with the cover on cover and my old A6, I bought this Hobonichi notebook. And they're like accessories, and it's Hobonichi papers or something. I'll put links to stuff at the bottom. But it's the paper. The paper feels a little thicker than the Tomoe River that's in the Hobonichis. Not super thick, but it does feel like a little smoother and a little more substantial. I haven't tried writing on it yet, but I have high hopes that it will be awesome. And it's just a very cute little blank notebook, and it is the perfect size to fit in one of these A6 covers. And so I feel like it's just adorable. And I feel like the pages are also easy to tear out. The way it's glued in, it's not it doesn't look like it would leave like a residue or like a like little chewed up Chad looking things. So that's very cute. While we're on the subject of notebooks, here is my A5 cousin planner for next year. It's not the AVIC, it is the whole deal. And the reason I went with that is because this is my one from 2018. It is not very chunky at all. I don't really do stickers and washi. Occasionally I will do like a post-it flag or a post-it. There might be like 3 stickers in this whole thing, and one of them is this one. I do have some stickers in the front of it, and I have occasionally like put these, so there might be more than 3. But anyway, I have occasionally put these little pretty pen stickers on like days when I have pen club. I got these from a pen club member, and I'll put a link to her stuff below because it's super cute if you're into stickers, especially if you like pens. Mostly this chunkiness is coming from, I have some postcards in here, and I have some stamps, like not planner kind of stamps, but like postal stamps. And I have a few business cards. I have my little trusty post-it flag or Avery flags. Last year, I used these index tabs on the weeks section. So because the weeks section doesn't have a separate color coding like the daily section, I wanted like to be able to quickly flip to different months within the weekly section, because I use the weekly section a lot. It's the main draw for me for the cousin. The problem is that my little pens, and even when I was just using the Hobonichi pen and the 2 pen loops to hold it together, they tend to chew up these particular little indexy tabs. I still can't figure out what these things are supposed to be. I'm sure that it's supposed to be super cute. I have no idea. I'm going to use those in here, and hopefully I will not order those other tabs, because I know that they're going to get chewed up by my pens. The next thing on my list, and I'm just pulling stuff out at random, this is the A5 cover I ordered. I know I said I didn't order an A5 planner, so why on earth did I order an extra A5 planner cover? Well, because it goes back to this one. I really wanted this one in this size, and then when I went to order, it was sold out. And they had it in the A5, and I wasn't planning to order another A5 cover because I've had a cover on cover on this one all year, and so while the cover on cover got dirty and a little chewed up, the cover is still very clean and very new looking once you take the cover on cover off. So I was like, I don't really need another, but I fell in love with this pastel stripe for whatever reason. I don't know, it's kind of not my thing, but it's also very much my thing, and I don't really know how to explain that other than that. But I liked the inside color, but I know that it's going to end up filthy. So I got the plain cover on cover to go with that, because even though mine from last year is still in a quasi-usable state, it's not falling apart, it's filthy. So I'm going to feel super guilty throwing that away. I may have to put it in a drawer and save it just in case something happens to the one I'm using now and I can swap it out for the dirty one. This is how hoarding happens. You feel guilty about throwing things away, and then the next thing you know, you have 12 old, chewed up cover on covers because you think about the landfill and the trees. So back to this. So this is another one of those things where I'm like, that is not my style, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I also at the same time thought that is very much my style, and I love it. I'm a total cat person, and when I was much younger, I hated pink, and now that I'm older, I love pink. In an almost ironic kind of a way, but yeah. So this I'm going to use with these little Midori MD notebooks. They come in a grid, lined, and blank, and I currently have the gridded one, and I have a blank one, I believe, on the way. And so they're a little bit thinner than the Hobonichi notebooks, and a little bit thinner than a Hobonichi planner. They're about the size of about the thickness of an AVEC. So you can put one on one side and one on the other, and then you've got two paper choices in one little cover. And you can carry it around with you and make notes as you see fit. Or I suppose you could also, if you wanted to, you could do this as an option and use it as a traveler's journal or a bullet journal or what have you. Along the same lines, especially if you were doing like a traveler's journal kind of thing, and you wanted to either sew in or attach some kind of band system to add like an extra thing in the middle, they had this. And I don't remember seeing this year, in the years past. They may have had it and I just missed it. But this is an A6 version of the weekly planner style that is my big draw to the cousin. And so I ordered this. It was fairly inexpensive. So I ordered this from the accessory section to give it a shot this year and see if this works as well as the weekly section in the cousin. These little MD notebooks in an A5 size. So I'm going to get a couple of those and put them in my old cover and see how I like that. And so I got a new cover for that purpose. I like the idea of it being, reusable, that like you have that nice cover, but it's not like, say, it's not like this where you're paying for like the cover every time you pay for a notebook, which I love this, but I mean, and it has been quite a workhorse. This is from Paper Blanks, and again, I'll leave a link in the description below. It is gorgeous. It has like this I stuck on here, and now I can't seem to get it off. So if you have any ideas on how to get one of these Midori pin loops off of something, please let me know. But the paper in here is quite nice. It's thicker than the Tomoe River paper, and it's got almost a parchment feel, but it's a smooth texture. And it holds up to fountain pen and watercolor really well, felt tip, all kinds of stuff. It does not bleed really at all, unless you use something like oil-based or super crazy. But, so I really enjoyed that. And I have this little notebook that I really love the style of the way it folds, but I'm not crazy about the lines. But I have been using it, but it's glued to the cover, so you can't reuse it. And so I don't like that. For a cover like this, I would like to be able to, when I'm done with the notebook inside, pull that out and put another one in, which is what I plan to do with the Hobonichi covers. So we have pulled down all of the covers, all of the cover-on covers, and all of the books. So if that's what you were here for, you are free to leave, ma'am, sir. Another thing I got, and I've already pulled this out of the bag, and I destroyed the bag, so I got this little deal. And again, it was in the accessory section, and I ordered the one that was for the cousin, but maybe I needed the one for the A6 because my intention was, since I keep 2 pens on here now, because I love my Coletto, I love the way it writes more than I like the Hobonichi Jetstream, which I still write with the Jetstream, don't get me wrong. I like it, and I like it more than I thought I would, but there are some things I still want to write with my Coletto. But the Coletto has like a very delicate little plastic loop. It's not as sturdy as the Jetstream loop on the Hobonichi pen. So I was a little worried if I used this through both loops that it would just break off. So I've been doing this, and it still kind of falls out from time to time and ends up lost at the bottom of my purse. And sometimes the Hobonichi one unscrews itself, and then I end up having to scurry around for pieces. Which means that I may end up keeping the yellow pen on my planner for next year, and the pretty white and pink one use at my desk, because the yellow one has gotten filthy from being dragged around everywhere. And this one will also get filthy if I'm dragging it around everywhere. If I leave it on my desk, it will not. My desk isn't nearly as filthy as the bottom of my purse. Also, with this being yellow, if it comes apart and there's pieces floating around at the bottom of my giant black bag, it's fairly easy to find, whereas I don't think that this mauve-y pink will be super easy to find in the bottom of a giant black bag. So I have a feeling that this is going to live on my desk with my other pens that live on my desk, and the yellow one will just still wander around with me. I have no idea what to do with this bear. If you have ideas, please let me know. I mean, it's cute, but I don't need a bear. I didn't need meal dice. I can think of things to eat without meal dice. And I certainly never figured out what to do with a toast plate. I mean, they're cute. The meal dice weren't even like vegetarian friendly. I mean, I realize that's, neither here nor there, but like, I have no idea what to do with the meal dice. I have no idea what to do with the bear. If you have ideas, please let me know. And the last thing in the box is the craziest thing I bought so far. I have never seen one of these before, and I haunt a lot of Asian, Japanese, Korean, like stationery stores online, Instagram. I'm always like poking around looking for like new weird things to write with, or new weird papers to write on, mostly things to write with, especially pens. But this is a multi-lead holder. So it's got 8 different colored leads in there, and they're thicker than like a regular colored pencil, mechanical colored pencil, because it's actually a lead holder. And it's got this teeny little pencil sharpener so that you can sharpen your lead. And I find this so cool. I've never seen this before, even though it comes from Pentel. But it came with 8 little refills, and it's got 8 colors. And so I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to do something with it because it is just stupid cool. Which brings me to the last things laying around that I need to show you. This stuff did not come from Hobonichi. This is a pen holder that the husband got me. He got 2 of them actually, and the cute thing about this is that it'll unzip flat. So if you've got like several things in here and they're like skinnier than the fountain pens I had in there before. If like you had like your little planner markers, your little mild liners or iconic 2As or whatever whatever. Instead of them being all jostled up like this, so they're hard to see which one is which, it unzips completely flat so you can see what you have. And then when you're done, you could just zip them all up in there. And you've got like this weird little sideways taco thing. The only drawback to this is it doesn't hold a lot. So if you're the kind of person who drags around like a ton of markers and pens and stuff, you would need either something else or more than one. And initially it's a little sticky to like get it to curve, but once you've unzipped and zipped it a few times, it gets easier. And I have one in light gray and in dark gray. I have no idea why he bought me 2 of these, but I definitely will use them. I am not entirely sure for what yet, but I will definitely use them. He also picked up this, and I'll ask him for the links because I have no idea. But it's kind of padded inside, so I think, and it's very small, so I think this would be great for carrying around like a nicer fountain pen. I realize this is not a super high-end fountain pen, but it's the one that's nearby. This one actually looks and feels fancier, even though it's like a $5 Gen How. But if you had a pen that you wanted, or carry around and you wanted it to be a little padded, or you had like a couple that you weren't afraid of them like scratching each other inside, but you wanted to be able to carry them around and them not get crushed or anything in your bag, like it's quite padded in there. That's cool. And so there's that. Again, it doesn't hold a whole lot, but it's nicely padded if you wanted to put like a nice pen, or you had like a nice pen and like a little bottle of ink. So this is got scribble on it, so I have no idea what color this really is anymore. But if you had like a little bottle of ink and you wanted to put it in your purse to carry it around, or your bag or your planner bag or whatever, since it's padded, it would be a little more protected than, say, this, or even this. But so you could easily put a pen and a bottle of ink in there and carry it around, and that's cool. It's actually very cool. Why did I think of that before? Anyway, that's that. And that's actually everything I have acquired recently, and I think that's more than enough. Although there are a couple of little MD notebooks from Midori on their way from the Paper Seahorse. Love the Paper Seahorse. If you've never been to Tampa, go to the Paper Seahorse online. If you are anywhere near Tampa, you're traveling to Tampa, you are going to St. Pete to go to the beach or see grandma or whatever, please go over to the Paper Seahorse, say hi, and look at all their pretty goodness. There is a video of the Paper Seahorse somewhere. Yeah, they're awesome. Once again, I'll put links below, and thanks for watching. Sorry so long. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will have another plan with me style video where I actually dive in and get on to next week in here soon. Bye.